Good morning and thank you very much for joining me. Today's reading is going to be a message from your spirit guides. You have got, or guide, I'm not quite sure yet. You've got three choices: the Nine of Earth for number 1, the Four of Earth for number 2, and the Nine of Water for number 3. So that's Bradewith, Camufuchi, and Lady the Lake. Hi everybody. So what would your star family or your higher self or your spiritual guide say to you? I've started this 3 times and I started off explaining the spiritual guides feeling. I don't think it works, so I'm just going to go into the message and maybe feed some of that in. There is a feeling here of finding peace with yourself at the moment that may almost feel like emptiness, and to be at ease with that. There's a feeling that you're meant to feel like this. You could have had lifetimes before of fighting and pushing, and you're here now to be able to experience what is almost the accumulation of what you're meant to be doing. You've got the Sacred Heart that turns into the Ace of Swords. So that is knowing and understanding and using your heart in some way, possibly more recent lifetimes or the most prominent lifetimes, if you believe that, and finding some form of, I can't think of the word, I was going to say elucidation, but I don't think there's any such word, of awareness with the Sun card there. So those two are very sort of warm, lovely cards. To have the Orion Light down here, the Orion Light is basically a battle between polarities, when you actually realise that to be still and to not fight and not play either side is part and parcel of what you should be doing. My sister's telling my dog off for snatching. I've never heard her shout. And the Ace of Swords here is realising it, but the Two of Pentacles below it is, it's almost like you know it, but you're not at ease with it yet. You know that there's no point in fighting half the time. There's no point in judging. There's no point in having opinions or desires. But it still is so embedded from lifetimes and lifetimes after doing it, and almost fighting for it as well in some sense. You've got strong opinions possibly. And you can, maybe one lifetime you sat on this side and you said this is right. And then the other time you sat on this side. And this is saying that it's becoming clear now. Which, to be honest, at the moment in life, it is becoming clear. The extremes just don't work, and sometimes it's best to just leave things be and just not judge at times, not all the times. You've got the Death card here with the Sacred Heart as well, which, talking about star systems here, the Sacred Heart tends to make me think of Pleiades, but this is Orion, because the Pleiades or the Pleiadians, which to me, I don't know, it could be, I don't know what it is, but it's energy that would speak of giving too much, wanting to be too good and denying the dark parts of ourselves. So it feels like you've worked really hard in previous lifetimes on being the giver, the goodie. But with the Ace of Swords, that you probably realise that you, with the Death card here, that you've experienced both sides of the coin. If you have got any interest in the Aztecs or the Mayans or the Celts or Stonehenge or what else? The Druids, whether you are into that sort of sycamore witchy hedge thing, I don't know what, but that may be why, because of these 2 cards here, that part of your soul family, your family group, your higher self comes through with that energy. An energy of wisdom, and an energy of knowing, and an energy of probably being very adept at, with the sort of the Mayan Aztec influence at astrology. but also having a witchy feel to you, so it's more like a pagan sort of, I know what I'm talking about because I'm into astrology, but the pagan bit makes me think of a very earthy feeling of twigs twigs and wood and spells, but an interest in nature as well. You may integrate those two very well in your life. So the message to you, I guess, here is you've done a good job. Relax, be who you are, and don't struggle to try and find yourself in a world that is swaying around at the moment. It's a feeling that you've come this far, just sit in it, but have awareness with the Ace of Swords here. You've probably, as I said earlier, had previous lifetimes of using what I would say the softer parts of yourself, the more compassionate parts of yourself, those bits that see other people's opinions and other people's views rather than taking a more dictatorial viewpoint in life. So that is probably your closest memory. And with that, the Sun card, obviously by the fact you're probably rested in that state a little bit more, samadhi, is that a word? I know it's a word, I just don't know how to pronounce it. There's been some sort of enlightenment with that, some sort of knowledge, some sort of understanding, awareness with the Sun card here. And the Star card here possibly is to use that awareness to move forward in a gentle fashion. So I don't know whether you are interested in the things that I saw there or spoke about with the Buddha card here, which is that witchcrafty feel that links with astronomy and astrology. You know, whether you have a interest in certain star systems, and probably with Orion there, it would be, I can't say them, Rigel, Betelgeuse and Ophiuchus. But you're beginning to awaken others now. And in doing that, it's almost got like a feeling of emptiness in the centre, that you may feel like you're stayed or you're steady, or inside you feel like, where's this bit of my life? Where's love? Where's money? Where it's like, concentrate on keeping yourself stable because you've come this far and it's almost time for breathing space here. You can sit in what you're doing, where you are at the moment, because your next part, your next journey is, to me, it feels like teaching something that is otherworldly. And I don't mean your next journey is next life. I mean it is in like maybe next week, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next hour, or maybe next month. It's like awareness of how to integrate things, how to stay on the tightrope without falling off either side, how to not take extreme viewpoints, how to not get engrossed in a world where we are at the moment getting pulled into extremes again, or basically not so much pulled into them, being aware of them again. You know, you've got to sit there steady. So this has got no place for panic, no place for judging, no place for opinions or trying to push where you feel that you sit in this world forward. It's like you're in the middle of a game and you're sitting there and you're aware of it. You've played that game many, many times before, but I think that there's something to do with softness and giving that has allowed you in your previous lifetimes to sit in this lifetime with ease, but you may be interpreting that as boredom. Very strange message. I'm sorry, this may seem a bit weird, but that's what it feels like. To me, to translate this to normal words, it would be, you may be in a part of your life where you don't have the things that you associate with being successful, but you're not taking in your backdrop the life, if you believe in past lifetimes, the lifetimes and lifetimes of struggle that you've got to have this time to basically sit and recalibrate and rejuvenate yourself, because your next process has got to do with wisdom. And giving it, with the Star card there, it's to groups. And it's like goodbye to the fight. Don't take part in it. Just a little snippet of a snory, don't snore. Story here. I used to work with a woman who was very fiery, very, very good for giving you confidence and promoting you. And she she came into, I'm a teacher, she came into the class and she was shouting at the kids, have an opinion, you've got to have an opinion. And I still don't know where I sit with that. I understand why she's saying it. I understand that you need to have confidence in who you are and stick with your decisions and your opinions. But also this is saying that it's okay, it's okay when you're playing that game, but you're not playing that anymore. You don't need an opinion anymore. It's like almost stay steady, stay centered. You're the eye in the storm of what is going on around you at the moment, and to keep that, and to know that it's not boredom, it's not complacency, it's just you at the part of the journey that you're at. Allow everything else to fall around without you, and you're more of an example. And it's time to just basically keep yourself still. It's like a healing and integration period for you. So I suppose, as I was trying to say earlier, this is just a quick message, but don't feel unfulfilled in any way, because you would never really, I don't think we could really appreciate the journey that you've been on, and how much you've battled, and how much you've experienced, and how much trauma you've probably had, and then been able to heal yourself from, slowly to feel this stasis at the moment, and it's still part of your journey. And if you are interested in astrology, if you're interested in star systems, if you have that feeling of awakening, and you also have, like, I guess, a very earthy pagan feel about you as well, that is part of probably years and years of accumulation of different bits of information that is making you what you are now, and allowing this awareness and this understanding. So that's what I've got, pile number one. I'm going to leave that there. I feel like I shouldn't put these readings out, but I'm going to, just in case something reverberates inside somebody, because it's not like a beginning and an end. It's just, well, there you go. Okay, there you go. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to say bye. Okay, right. These are unusual readings. Before I start, they just are unusual readings, but I'm going to go for it, and it may feel a bit like it doesn't have a beginning or an end. It really does. It really does. You've got Pleiades star system here with imbalance in positive polarity. So the Pleiades, I think, is normally associated with that fourth dimension, whatever that means, but it's like an upgrade. It's like an upgrade where we've decided that we've fought for long enough, and the polarity, they're sort of like the extremes has been too much. So if you're a Pleiadian, let's just pretend this is real, that you begin to love, and you get so overtaken by the fact that this is what you're sent here to do, and everything has to be nice, that you deny the negative parts of, well, we deny the negative parts of ourselves. It's like too much smush, too much niceness, and then the negative parts don't disappear. There's always got to be both sides, and it's just got to be balanced. So you've got to acknowledge the negative parts, and you've got the Knight of Cups here, so that, and with the Six of Pentacles by the side of it, so it's reinforced in the reading here. The Knight of Cups will be, loving and affection and kindness. With the Six of Pentacles is saying find that balance, because if you don't, the negative parts, the bits that we push down, are going to come out roaring at some point in our lives. So world is not all, this world, I know we're talking about fourth dimension here, but it's not all sweetness and kindness. It's always going to be there, and awareness is key. It's how you use it. And there's a feeling here, if you have got things repressed inside you and you're thinking, I must be nice, I must be kind, it's like you've still got to find an outlet for the negative bits. So maybe through meditation, maybe through journals, maybe through acting or sport, maybe part to actually acknowledge that it's there and say, that's okay. I'm going for a run. So that has got that message there for you as well. So from, I don't know if you've got a link with the Pleiades, whether there is some sort of draw towards that star system. I think in the Mayans there, wasn't there, their temples were somehow, I don't know. I have been to Chichen Itza, but I can't remember what it was. I remember it being really interesting and running to have a look at the observatory, but I can't remember what it was. You've also got here, can't pronounce it, Fuchi, the Four of Fire here, which is steady, the hearth. To me, I'm looking at this, I'm trying to translate it to things that I already know. There's a feeling here of Vesta to me, and that is not just the hearth and home, it's basically saying your spirit, your fire inside yourself, how to keep that stable, how to keep that burning, how to find passion in your life, which all these top cards basically speak of the cards here, which is your star system, your lessons, where you're coming from, your higher self or your spirit guide. It basically, it's you in a different, I think it's you in a different dimension that encompasses these type of energies. So you've got here the balance, which we've talked about. You've got here the loving, which we've talked about, and the need to feel love and be loved, but to also acknowledge that, you know, love always comes in packages of black and white and good and bad, and, you know, it's all and everything in between. It's not all sweetness and light. You've got the Chariot card here, which to me must link with the Four of Fire, of I'm going to say ambition, but harnessing your fire, harnessing your shadow side and moving forward with it. And sometimes, you know, I hear people talking, and it's the awareness of both sides of ourselves. And I don't mean to rant on about Jordan Peterson, but he just seems to be around a lot at the moment. And there was some talk I was listening to, and I liked his sentence, and I can't remember what the bits were before. It was something like, you don't need to be nice, too nice. You need to embrace all the crap bits inside yourself and be a monster. And it was the lines, be a monster. And what he's basically saying, I guess, is that we all have anger. We all have dark bits inside us, and that is natural. Don't shove it under, use it to be powerful. I guess that's what he's saying. I don't know. And of the Three of Pentacles below is balance with all that. So your spirit guides is saying, use everything at your disposal, everything you dislike about yourself. Don't judge it, just basically use it to move forward, accept it and use it as a strength. There's a feeling here of toughness in this pile. There's a feeling here, especially with this card, whether you, I don't know that you can identify with it, sorry, but tattoos or animals, maybe you're drawn towards animals that are quite, you know, strong, whether you've lions, tigers, bears, you know, that type of thing. You know, even horses in some way, you know, animals that have a presence and are quite fierce. You know, whether you have like spirit animals or whether you're drawn towards like totem animals, that type of thing. But the strong message in here is to find an equilibrium, but don't accept it as a constant balance. Keep yourself steady with the Two of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. Don't put too much into to love and searching for love with the Knight of Cups. Find that balance. That is part of who you are, but it's got to be met with the Knight of Swords and the Chariot card, fierceness and action, and self-expression, I think, in here. This is like, accept yourself, but don't sit on your laurels too long. You've got to use all your experience to be able to be tough. And there's a star system, I think it could be in the Pleiades or Procyon or something, no, maybe not actually. But it's like, that star is called Princess of the Brave Heart. And to me, that feels like wisdom, but with toughness. And that is the message to you from your higher self, spirit guides, I guess, here. Acceptance and toughness with your next move, because this moves this way. Balancing who you are, and that's what I mean by acceptance. I've already talked about that. Oh, okay. This has got a similar term to it. It's like Rising Fire, Sparks Woman. God, I love these names. It's the same thing. It's like Princess of the Brave Heart. It's that person who uses their spirit to live, to be, to make to burn through this world. but still using your heart, but not so much that it's on fantasies and always pushed onto other people. It's you. This all comes back to you in this. This is sort of lovely pile. I don't think I'm translating it as nicely as it feels to me, but it's got a feeling of energy being put into past lives, to be able to feel that you can almost stop and look back in this life and say, okay, I can see it, I can feel the balance. So that to me feels like awareness and wisdom. There's a feeling here of a general nature that still wants to love, because it's part and parcel of where you've experienced happiness in the past life, still wanting which is natural, still wanting relationships and still that being a big part of your life. But here it is calling out, well, you've got to also use that to move forward yourself, not just to project onto other people. And that's where the balance is, in action, rather than just in trying to gravitate towards love relationships or wanting to feel accepted or being a people pleaser as well. Is probably, don't do that. But the most important message in here is from your spirit guide or your star system is to always acknowledge those crappy bits in yourself that you would like to sweep under the carpet and deny. So that if somebody comes at you and says, you are this and this and this, and it's all negative, you say, yeah, yeah, I am, which is fine. We all like to try and hide it because our egos are so delicate. We all try and hide the disgusting bits. It's like, accept it and know who you are and move forward in a way that has strength and acceptance of yourself. So that's what I've got, pile number 2. Just a short read, short Christmassy read, festive season read. Okay, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you very much. Bye. Just going to start pile number 2. So what would your spirit guides, your star people, seeds, I don't know what would they say to you, or what would they want to say to you? I often think that our spirit guides, or whatever term you want to put on, is part of us that very much are similar vibration, that is not either not brave enough to come down here and do it, or that has done it before and is a little bit further on than we are. I'm going to say on the scale, but on the circle. There's a feeling here of trying to, oh my gosh, this has got one of those, only the people say I don't feel at home here. It's got that feeling. To me, it's a mixture of that and a chironic feeling about you. And there's a feeling here of being very sensitive, being able to read situations, feeling at certain times in your life where you've been put into, there's 2 sides of you. One that's very sort of sensitive, but there's one also that needs to feel maybe a lot of earth inside you, because you've got the Queen of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles, the 8 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles here, where you have to adjust yourself in financial situations. You may feel stability when you have money in the bank, when you feel stable in a job situation, when you have a steady relationship here. But the King of Pentacles makes me feel that because Zeta Reticuli, I don't know how to say these things, is enlightenment. So the Zeta, the story goes, I don't know if it's a story or not, but I do read a lot on it, so I should. A fear of awakening. It's the refuse to have emotions, and you've got the King of Cups right in the centre, which is emotional, but you're splattered around by pentacle cards. So there's a fear of almost releasing your earthly claws. It's like, I need this. I have to have this. This will make everything okay. And I don't know what that may mean to you, whether it is a house or a stable relationship or keeping that job that you feel like you've outgrown. But the King of Cups in the centre with the eye in the middle of his nose is that saying, it's enlightenment after fear. You know that there's more. So I wonder whether you're struggling at the moment with that. But painful integration of two different parts of yourself with an awareness that you don't quite feel it like you did, but you've also got a fear of letting go. So whether it's a job or a relationship, it's like that's part of the process that you should be feeling now to be able to go into your next step in that big circle. The Nine of Water down here again. Oh no, that's the wrong one actually. The Nine of Water here to me is Lady of the Lake. So that's like a British pull. You know, whether you are attracted to British things, definitely not all lakes, definitely not all wetness and all rain, but whether you've got a draw towards, you know, King Arthur or Glastonbury or Stonehenge, just a thought. The water here goes here. It's through understanding, through insight and happiness and confidence in yourself that you pull yourself out of this earthly realm, whatever the word is, and you get to the Sun card, which is enlightenment. So, okay, so the message to you from your spirit guides, sorry, I will get there, is a feeling of let go of your grasp on materiality, materialism. I don't know if those either of those, the first one is a word. And I don't know how to interpret that for you. And I will say it again. It could be your savings account. It could be fear of being in the depression that we're in at the moment, or basically heading towards very quick. It could be, you know, your mortgage, or an inheritance even, or your job, or just generally that fear of lack of stability with finances and earthly possessions. With all these earth cards could maybe send you into a frenzy, but with this card here, it's saying, you know, you can hear me. I'm talking to you through water, through your dreams, and through your softer, more gentle times when you're relaxed. And, you know, I don't know how, but it's like through emotions and through intuition. This person or this particular energy is trying to talk to you to not be fearful, because with the Sun card, the releasing of things and letting things go is part and parcel of your greatest gift to yourself, your enlightenment, your feeling of ease, and that feeling of everything's just okay, which you're struggling to feel here maybe. And that's how we do feel okay in this world a lot of the time. Through thinking that, okay, we're not, you know, we're going to be able to feed our kids, or we're going to, you know, that type of thing. But on the greater cycle, it would be awareness that we put ourselves here in the first place in these situations. We all have to come back at this time. So I guess the message here is understand the process, why you are feeling this, and it's just a little bit more of a nudge to get you to. This is a really nice card to have at the end result when you're starting off with fear, and this is like everything's okay, because it's like being taken out of your body and seeing it from above. So to put it in terms that I can understand it, and hopefully you, it's let go of any over involvement with financial struggles, with stability in the outside world, with trying to look good in your job, with trying to clip-clop around in your heels and look like, I'm saying this because I saw a video on somebody looking like they were good at their job, and I think it was some sort of spoof where this woman is like strutting around with a handbag on and clipping over their heels. When we put that act on to look like we are in charge of our earthly endeavours, it's like, let that go, because it's the enlightenment and the long journey that's important, not the short-term show, which to you won't feel like show. It'll feel like everything's just fine. Everything's just fine. And there was a guy who, I think this was about 10 years ago, who decided to sell all his stuff. I think he did it publicly, so everybody knew what he was doing, everything he owned, bit by bit, day by day, on, I think it would be YouTube or something like that. You know, there's that feeling, could you do that? I don't think I could. I'd miss my duvet. But it's the process that you're going through is a releasing process, and in releasing things, it will waken you up. So if you're losing things in your life that don't feel fair, it's just let them go, because it's part of a bigger picture. And this Zeta card here has got something to do with, hold on. I was going to say emotional blocks. I didn't know whether to say that. I'm wondering, this is so different from pile number 2, whether part of your way forward is to move with your feelings and your emotions, because that is Zeta's. The story of those is that they don't have emotions, they don't have feelings, and you've got the King of Cups with all these cards around it, and you're getting the Ace of Cups, when I'm just about to say emotional block anyway. It's to love big time is going to get you to the Sun card. So if you've got choices in your life to do a passion project and forfeit money, even in the middle of having no money whatsoever the next couple of years, it's still saying take the passion project. If you are bound to a marriage and it's loveless and you've met somebody who you really get on with, follow the one that you really get on with. It's that type of message. So translate that to whatever earthly area you're in at the moment that may feel confined and may feel like you're doing it for stability, because to actually release, not too much, don't dive in and say, come back to me and say, Lindsay, I've lost everything, but start moving towards releasing the clause in the world, and the Ace of Cups is to follow your heart a bit more, because that is probably the message I've got here, even though it took a long time to get there. From fear to enlightenment through following your emotions and your desires in some way, which I know we shouldn't really talk about, that we should follow them, but there's some fun to be had in that. But to release the feeling of security and craving security, because there is no such thing. The moment that you feel that you've got it is when it gets whipped away. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Strange little reads, all of these are strange little reads. I would normally not put them out, but I want to put them out for Christmas. So there are reads there that to me I'm thinking, it doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm just going to put them out there just in case you get something from it, just to get, you know, some more reads out, which I wanted to do up to Christmas because I thought it might be something different. I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you very much. Bye.